The champagne tower sparkled under the chandelier in the two-story foyer. 50 guests mingled through the open-concept living room, admiring the vaulted ceilings and marble countertops. My mother stood at the center of it all, radiant in a cream silk dress, accepting congratulations like royalty. "It's absolutely stunning, Patricia," her friend Diane gushed. "How did you manage such a gorgeous place?" "Well, you know how it is," Mom said with practiced humility. "When you work hard your whole life, sometimes good things happen." I stood near the kitchen island, sparkling water in hand, listening to her rewrite history in real time. The house was stunning, a custom-built craftsman in the new Riverside Oaks development. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, a chef's kitchen with professional-grade appliances, a finished basement with a home theater. The model everyone wanted. The one with the premium lot backing onto the greenbelt. Price tag, $875,000. "Cassie, come see the master suite." Mom called to me, waving me over. "Everyone needs to see the closet. It's bigger than my first apartment." I walked over dutifully. The crowd parted as Mom led a tour group upstairs. 10 women oohed and awed over the spa bathroom, the walk-in closet with custom built-ins, the balcony overlooking the trees. "This is the dream," someone said. "Patricia, you've done so well for yourself." Mom beamed. "It's been a journey, but I'm finally where I deserve to be." Where she deserved to be. On my credit. With my down payment. Using my income for mortgage approval. But nobody here knew that. 6 months ago Mom had called with exciting news. "I'm buying a house. A real house, not an apartment. I found the perfect one in Riverside Oaks." "That's great, Mom. Can you afford it?" Pause. "Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. My credit isn't quite good enough to qualify for the best rates. And I'm a little short on the down payment." "How short?" "I need about $150,000 for 20% down. And someone to co-sign." My stomach had dropped. "Mom, that's a huge ask. You're my daughter. Family helps family. You make good money at that tech company. You can afford it." I made $195,000 as a senior software engineer at Cloud Tech Solutions. I'd been saving for my own house. Had $180,000 in the bank earmarked for my future. "I'll think about it." "The house won't last, Cassie. It's the best lot in the development. Please." I'd made the mistake of visiting the property. It was beautiful. And Mom had seemed so hopeful, so determined to finally have something of her own after years of renting. "Hey. But we need a written agreement. If I'm putting down $150,000 and co-signing, we're equal owners. 50-50. "Of course. Absolutely. We'll put it in writing." We'd met with her real estate agent and a lawyer. Drew up a co-ownership agreement. Both our names on the deed. Both responsible for the mortgage. I'd transferred $150,000 for the down payment. We'd closed in March. Then Mom had slowly stopped including me in decisions. Picked paint colors without asking. Chose furniture alone. Planned this housewarming party and didn't mention I was co-owner. When I'd asked about it last week, she'd laughed. Why would I tell everyone I needed my daughter's help? That's embarrassing. I'm not help. I'm a co-owner. Technically. But it's my house, Cassie. You'll get your money back eventually. Eventually. Like this was a loan I'd made instead of a property I co-owned. The tour group returned downstairs. Mom's sister Linda cornered her by the champagne tower. "So when are you going to tell everyone the truth?" "What truth?" Mom's smile tightened. "That Cassie paid for most of this." I froze across the room, pretending not to listen. "That's not true," Mom said sharply. "I paid for this house. Patricia, I know you didn't have $150,000 for a down payment. I know your credit score. My finances are none of your business, Linda. It becomes my business when you're lying to everyone about how you afforded this place. Give Cassie some credit." "I don't need to give her anything. This is my house." That's when I walked over. "Actually, it's our house." Mom's face flushed. "Cassie, not now." "Why not now? You're telling everyone how you worked hard and bought this house. Seems like a good time to clarify the details." "We can talk about this later." "No, let's talk now." I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app and showed Aunt Linda the $150,000 transfer from March. "That's the down payment I provided." And here's the mortgage statement showing both our names. Linda's eyebrows rose. Both names. 50-50 ownership, I confirmed. We're co-owners. Equal stake in the property. Mom grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Can I speak to you privately? Sure. She dragged me toward the study off the main hallway, her smile never faltering for the guests. The moment the door closed, she exploded. What the hell are you doing? Telling the truth. You're embarrassing me. Everyone thinks I bought this house myself. You didn't buy it yourself. I put down $150,000. I co-signed the mortgage. My credit is the reason we got approved. So what? You want a medal? You want me to announce to everyone that my daughter had to save me? I want you to stop lying about it. I want you to acknowledge that this is our house, not your house. Her eyes narrowed. Listen to me carefully. This is my housewarming party. These are my friends. And you're going to go back out there, smile, and keep your mouth shut. Understood? Or what? Or you can leave. This is my house and I decide who stays. I stared at her. Say that again. This is my house. My party. If you can't behave, get out. Something inside me snapped. I walked to the door, opened it, and called out, "Excuse me, everyone? Can I have your attention for a moment?" The chatter died. 50 faces turned toward me. Mom grabbed my arm again. "Cassie, don't you dare." I shrugged her off. "I just want to clarify something. My mother has been telling everyone this is her house. That she bought it. That she worked hard for it." "Cassie," Mom's voice was desperate now. "But that's not exactly accurate." I walked to where I'd left my bag, pulled out my leather briefcase and set it on the kitchen island. Clicked it open. These are the closing documents from the purchase in March. I pulled out the deed and held it up. 2 names on this deed. Patricia N. Morrison and Cassandra Jean Morrison. Co-owners. Equal stake. Silence. Here's the mortgage agreement. 2 borrowers. Both equally responsible for the $700,000 loan. Mom's face had gone white. "Stop it. Here's the down payment receipt. $150,000 transferred from my account to escrow. That's 17% of the purchase price. I paid for almost all of the down payment." I spread the documents across the marble countertop. "And here's our co-ownership agreement, signed by both parties, stating that we are equal owners of this property. 50-50 split." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. So when my mother screamed at me to get out of her house 2 minutes ago, that was legally inaccurate. This is our house. I own half of it. I paid for most of the down payment. My credit score is the reason the mortgage was approved. And I will not be erased from this narrative so she can pretend she did this alone. Mom's hands shook. "You're destroying everything." "No, I'm setting the record straight. You've been telling people you bought this house yourself. You haven't. You needed me. My money, my credit, my help. And instead of acknowledging that, you tried to kick me out of a house I half own." Aunt Linda started clapping slowly. Then Mom's friend Jennifer joined in. Then others. Mom looked around wildly. "She's lying. She's trying to." "The documents are right here, Patricia," Linda said coldly. "Everyone can see them. Your daughter paid for this house just as much as you did." "More," I corrected. "I paid the entire down payment. The mortgage is in both our names, but I have better income, so I'll be paying a larger share of the monthly payments too. Per our agreement." I pulled out another document. "This is our signed agreement stating that I'll pay 60% of the mortgage, property taxes, and insurance because my income is higher. Mom pays 40%. So actually I'm paying for more than half." The room was completely silent now except for the sound of champagne bubbles popping in abandoned glasses. "Get out," Mom whispered. "Excuse me." "Get out of my house," she screamed, her face contorted with rage. "I don't care what those papers say. This is my house. I picked it. I decorated it. I planned this party. You're just the bank." I gathered my documents calmly, sliding them back into my briefcase. "Actually, as co-owner, I have every legal right to be here. But I'll leave. This party isn't fun anymore." I turned to the crowd. "For anyone interested in the truth, all of these documents are recorded with the county. Public record. You can verify everything I've said. Mom and I are legal co-owners of this property, 50-50 split, with a financial agreement favoring my larger contribution. Mom lunged toward me, but Aunt Linda grabbed her. "Patricia, don't. She's ruining my life." Mom sobbed. "Everything I worked for." "You worked for 40% of it," I said quietly. "I worked for 60. There's a difference." I walked toward the door. Guests parted like the Red Sea. At the threshold I turned back. "One more thing. The mortgage payment is due on the 1st. Your share is $2,100. Don't be late. I'd hate to have to cover your portion and adjust our ownership percentages accordingly. The co-ownership agreement allows for that." Mom's sobs echoed through the foyer as I left. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. Mom's number. Then Aunt Linda. Then unknown numbers, probably party guests. I ignored them all and drove to my apartment. My rental apartment. The one I'd been living in for 3 years because I'd spent my down payment money saving my mother's credit and pride. At home, I poured a glass of wine and reviewed the co-ownership agreement one more time. Every clause was clear. Every provision protected me. If Mom missed payments, I could cover them and claim a larger ownership stake. If she wanted to sell, we'd split profits according to contribution ratios. If she wanted to buy me out, she'd need to pay market value for my half. And if she stopped paying altogether, I could force a sale. My attorney had made sure of it. Catherine Mills called at 9 p.m. "I've had 4 messages from your mother's lawyer. Want to fill me in?" I told her everything. The party. The screaming. The document reveal. She laughed. "You brought your briefcase to a housewarming party?" I had a feeling it might be relevant. "Your mother is claiming you ambushed her. That you deliberately humiliated her in front of her friends. She told me to get out of my house." I corrected the record. "Well, her lawyer wants to discuss dissolving the co-ownership. Buying you out. At what price? That's the question. The house has already appreciated. Comparable sales in Riverside Oaks are hitting $925,000. Your half would be worth $462,500. But you've also contributed more than half financially. So I'm owed more. Substantially more. When we factor in your larger down payment and the agreement that you'll pay 60% of ongoing costs, your actual stake is closer to 65%. That's $601,250 at current value." I felt a grim satisfaction. Does her lawyer know this? Not yet. But they will when we respond tomorrow. Good. 3 days later, Mom showed up at my apartment. I saw her through the peephole and almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. "What do you want?" She looked terrible. Eyes red, makeup smeared. "Can I come in?" Against my better judgment, I stepped aside. She sat on my couch and stared at her hands. "Everyone knows. The whole party was texting about it by that night. It's all over Facebook. My friends are asking questions I can't answer. The answers are in the public records. They think I'm a fraud. That I lied about buying the house myself. You did lie. I didn't want them to know I needed help." Her voice broke. "I'm 58 years old, Cassie. I should be able to afford my own house. I shouldn't need my 32-year-old daughter to rescue me. But you did need me. And instead of being grateful, you tried to erase me." "I know." Tears streamed down her face. "I know I was wrong. But I was so embarrassed. Everyone else my age owns their homes. Everyone else has retirement savings. I have nothing. Just bad credit and an apartment lease I can barely afford. So you used me." "Yes. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The apology hung in the air. I wanted to forgive her. Wanted to believe she meant it. "Your lawyer wants to buy me out," I said instead. She nodded miserably. "I can't afford to. Not at the price your lawyer is asking." "It's not asking. It's what I'm legally owed based on our agreement. $600,000, Cassie. I don't have that." "Then we keep the co-ownership arrangement. I stay on the deed. We split everything according to the agreement. And you stop telling people it's your house. Everyone will know I failed. Everyone already knows. What they don't know is whether you'll do the right thing now." She looked up at me with desperate eyes. "What if we just started over? New agreement. I acknowledge your contribution. We're equal partners. Real partners. We were supposed to be partners from the beginning. You made me the invisible investor. I'll fix it. I'll tell everyone the truth. I'll post on Facebook if you want. I'll make it right. I studied her carefully. Why should I believe you? Because I don't have a choice. If I can't buy you out and you won't stay as co-owner, I'll have to sell. And I'll lose this house I finally found. The first place that ever felt like home. The place I made possible. Yes. She wiped her eyes. The place you made possible. And I've been ungrateful and cruel. Please, guy. Give me another chance. I didn't give her an answer that night. Made her sit in uncertainty the way I'd sat through her party being erased. 2 weeks later, Catherine and I met with Mom and her lawyer. We revised the co-ownership agreement. Added clauses requiring mutual approval for all major decisions. Established clear communication protocols. Made my larger financial contribution explicit in the legal documents. And I insisted on one more thing. You're going to host a second housewarming, I said. And this time you're going to introduce me properly. As your daughter and co-owner. Your equal partner who made this house possible. Mom swallowed hard. Okay. And if you ever tell people this is your house again, I'll exercise my right to force a sale. The agreement allows it. I understand. We signed the new documents. Shook hands awkwardly. Started the long process of trying to be actual partners instead of resentful co-owners. The second housewarming party happened a month later. Smaller crowd. Different energy. I want to thank you all for coming, Mom said, holding a glass of champagne. And I want to introduce someone very important. My daughter Cassie, who is my co-owner and partner in this house. Without her financial contribution, wisdom, and credit, this place wouldn't exist. Everything here is just as much hers as it is mine. The applause felt genuine this time. Thank you, Cassie, Mom said, her voice thick with emotion, for making this possible. And for being patient with me while I learned to share the credit. I raised my glass. To partnership. To partnership, she echoed. It wasn't perfect. We still had tension. Still had moments where she forgot and called it her house. But we were trying. And my briefcase stayed in my car, ready for the day I might need those documents again. Just in case.